Excellent, Lawrence. Let's get things going. Well, welcome everyone. Happy to have you here attending this webinar we have today, talking about the future of taxi automation. We're here with us, good friend Lawrence. Lawrence, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Hi everybody, Lawrence Doherty here from Taxi Butler. Currently in Amsterdam, where our headquarters are, and been with the company now for 3 or 4 years. And thanks for this opportunity, Jason and DDS, to have this wonderful opportunity to chat with everybody. Looking forward to it.
Good to have you here, Lawrence. So as an introduction from my side, so my name is Jason People. I'm the Vice President of Global Sales here at DDS Wireless. Happy to be with you guys and take this opportunity to talk a little bit about our partnerships that we have and some of the products that we're featuring and seeing how if we can continue to help you guys in your journey in the transportation world. So with that, Lawrence, you ready? Let's kick these things off. So we'll start first. The big question that we all have, how do we move people more efficiently? So in order to do that, we wanted to talk about a couple things that we're doing in this partnerships and then how we kind of moving some things in the world, in this transportation world, our industry experience, Taxi Butler's industry experience, and then how those things can relate back to you. So we know that today there's, well, as all of us have experienced over the last couple of years, there's been changes, huge disruption in this transportation industry, this industry we call transportation. Those disruptors have been in many different ways. Some of those things being, we know that there's tools, there's apps out there that are being used now for this transportation, allowing us to do self-service transportation. There's things like real-time data and there's cloud-based services. So all these components are making a mix between causing a disruption that we are all facing, all experiencing. So the question is, what are we doing in this taxi as a taxi company in order to transform our own business models and then become more of these, as it says, a transportation service provider, not just an A to B type of provider, but now we're actually looking at how do we add these other services, which we'll talk about today, non-emergency medical transportation, or how maybe it's transportation of goods. You know, there's a lot of different things, a lot of different areas, and we're going to just kind of touch on some things today, and this is what we're doing, what we're focusing on. So the main key component for us, and hopefully for you, is in that transportation evolution. We're looking at how you utilize technologies. So technologies that help you to be able to be more successful, to be able to integrate all these services. I mentioned the app. So we know that there is a mobile app itself, which all of our users pretty much today are using some form of application, mobile application, in order to even call for a ride. That's a big disruption. So how do we use those technologies and how do we continue to integrate within those technologies? And hopefully as we go along today, you'll see, you know, this is why DDS is working the way they are today. So a little bit first in this first mile, last mile concept. So this is a new concept for maybe some of us. It's brought into this idea of no longer it's just a call a cab and pick up a cab and it's right there at your home. Now there's our riders, the riders themselves are looking at, they're starting first with maybe taking a scooter, or maybe they're walking to a metro and then picking up the metro and then dropping the metro off, and then they're taking that last mile, which would be that taxi or other form of transportation, or vice versa. That, you know, how are they getting from home to work, work to home? You think of the different ways and the different forms of transportation. There's an industry term that some of us probably heard of before. It's called micro transit. So that micro transit is taking this concept of not only just calling a cab and picking up a cab, but then how do I actually get to these other forms of transportation, these other micro transportations? So why DDS? So the cool thing about us and the important thing about us is we've been in business in this transportation industry, transporting passengers, goods, data, all for about 35 years now. You can see the number of trips that we've do on an annual basis, not only just within our taxi transportation world, but we have another side business, which also adds into that number of trips. That puts us into a good setting, a good footing, in order to understand this industry and talk about the technologies that we're bringing to the market and trying to help you in order to deploy more and have more business in your own world. So with that, I'm going to transition over to Lawrence. Lawrence, tell us, what is Taxi Butler doing in this world?
Thanks, Jason. So Taxi Butler, I suppose, I mean, it says it right there. It's purpose built for taxi booking from your local hotels, restaurants, cafes. It's been around for about 8 years now in its current form, and we are active in 40 different countries, with the key regions being North America, the UK, Australia, and Central Europe. We've done over 70 million bookings, as I've already mentioned, and the butlers are here basically to make life a lot easier for everybody. So instead of maybe losing time or resources booking taxis through telephones or using your computer, a front desk for a hotel, for example, would just press the button, and because we're integrated, again, I'll get into that later, we're integrated with DDS, then the booking goes automatically through the system and to your driver. So a very seamless and very easy way to capture all bookings. Again, purpose built for the taxis industry and for you and your venues or your local hotels and restaurants. Looking forward to presenting more later. Thanks for this short introduction, Jason, and enjoy the rest of the slides.
Excellent. And with that, so Lawrence, I definitely recognize, or we recognize, this award-winning solution, and it's also built on technology. So those things, the two key items that we're trying to bring to all of our customers and partners out there. So we're going to transition. And here, just to make a plug, if you have any questions from the attendee side or after the session, feel free to reach out to either one of us. But we have the Q&A open so we can respond to those questions and help you understand more of the solutions that we do have. So jumping right into technologies, we're going to walk through from a DDS side. The Taxi Book IQ is a product solution. We're going to focus on that idea of technology and kind of give you some sneak peeks into what we are doing, and then talk about what Taxi Butler is doing too. So the key business for us is are focused on repeat business. That's how we built our technologies, built our services. One of the key items here. So it's not just a on-demand transport type of service, but think of the other areas that you might be able to be participating in. There's paratransit, there's non-emergency. And then also built upon that is this idea of account services. And finally, we get into this innovative consumer model of subscription-based services or repeats business, or kind of tying that all into corporations and other organizations that we want to, which is a perfect segue back into our Taxi Butler partnership and the things we're working with them. So in that transformation areas, there's 3 areas that we mentioned. First, on our differentiation in the services side. So we're focused mainly, or many of our customers and clients are working in this multimodal type of transportation service. So it's allowing us to be able to pick up services from either at a school. Might be saying, how do I transport individuals from in the back east side of things? There's a lot of school transportation, and they're using these mini buses and things along those lines. There's also this non-emergency, NEMT, non-emergency form. In the second area within the account services area, we built our platform, built our services around this idea of making it easier for you to have these self-automation, to have a portal, to have subscriptions, and building your own loyalty programs, and being able to see all that, not just in a perfected model or patented model of scheduling and dispatch, but also tying it in your different modals of transportation with our business services and our platform, and then making that finally innovative for the consumers. The consumers are looking for that, as I mentioned, that first mile, last mile type of construction. They're looking for ways that they can obtain information for their own bookings, through an app, through other forms of modals of communication with their riders, and trying to make sure all that is tied in together. So in our platform and our product selections, we have 3 areas. The first one I mentioned already is the branded passenger app, which we'll talk about here in a second. There's the scheduling, the proven scheduling and dispatch management platform, which gives both the schedulers and the dispatchers that capability to be able to view those trips, schedule those trips, create reports, find out where are those real-time data analytics needs to come from, so they can make decisions and they can help do, hey, I need to create a zone, specific zone, and this zone needs to have this number of taxis in that area. And then finally, that capabilities and tools for the driver themselves, which we'll talk about in our third final set. It gives that driver the in vehicle, the in-app payment options, the actual driver pro, which we call it, which is being able to see how do I pick up a trip, how do I find that scheduled trip, things like that. So first on the passenger side, this is what we call our branded passenger app. And I'll highlight the key item here is on the lower right-hand side, it's your brand. It's branded to you, the customer. In this case, we have one of our customers that have, you can see the yellow logo layout, the logo itself. It's all created within your brand. So that way the user, the passenger, they can actually see it under your manifest and your setup. The good thing about the passenger side, the passenger then gets all of those different items within a true app. The live progression, the automatic payments. You can do updates, live updates where the vehicle's going. Where's my pickup? Where's my drop off? What's my estimated cost for that service? So all those things are all integrated within that passenger app. Makes it easy for that passenger in order to find that trip, in order to continue to book that trip. On the business side, so this is where I mentioned at the beginning, where we're looking at that multi-fleet or multimodal type of capabilities. So for us, hopefully you are looking at some other ideas of not just your taxi fleet itself, but maybe it's that home to school, maybe it's that transport or that paratransit type of service. Maybe there's other things that TaxiBook might be able to tie into your particular fleet capabilities. And there's even that integration within our TNCs, like the Ubers and Lyfts of the world. So that gives you that first mile to last mile capabilities and connecting you through that whole experience. So the users are coming back and using your capabilities, your tools, and rebooking and continuing to rebook within your service. And finally, here with the technology tie-in, which that API integration, or that integration into different platforms. The key item here, we are using Amazon Web Services, which gives you a disaster recovery type of scenario. So if there is some kind of hopefully not, but some kind of a disaster that happens in the area, you have all of that service backed up. All of that service is redundant. It allows you to continue to perform trips and continue to have access to services. The other integrations that we've done today are people like Global Payments, which gives us our in-app and in-vehicle payment capabilities. So you have a one-stop shop in order to go to those services. And then we also tie IVR, or your integrated telephony. And then finally, our friends here with Lawrence Taxi Butler, which is a great segue into how we can continue to work with these automated services and continue to give you more trips. So with that, turn it back over to you, Lawrence.
Thanks, Jason. And I suppose talking about returning business, then one of our key focus points is actually retaining business with the Taxi Butlers as well. You actually lock in more business by making life easier for your hotels and restaurant staff by booking taxis through Taxi Butler. So yeah, locking in business and being able to grow your own company that way in your local area is really, really important for Taxi Butler. So where's it come from? We've been around a while now trying to modernize the traditional taxi market by automating bookings and supporting front desk, but also you as a fleet and your resources, call centers, who would normally handle all the bookings. A kind of maybe an old-fashioned way would be free phones that were placed that people would pick up and then generally get somebody on the phone and book through that, and then by pressing the button, just one touch, then a call would go out to the cars and the driver would arrive hopefully within a designated time, automating everything and making it very seamless. So what does it kind of look like? So we have a few products, and the first bullet point there is automating all of those bookings. So it used to be possibly bookings from front desk or reception, or from the hotel or restaurant staff. Now with one of our other products, Guest QR, you're able to capture all bookings. So maybe customers or guests are in the lobby, or they're in a place in the hotel, or in their rooms even, where they would normally maybe choose somebody else, another provider. By using Guest QR, they can actually book with you, and you're having the opportunity of capturing more bookings from that hotel or restaurant. We do see that bookings actually go up as well. The more that the taxi butlers are used, the staff prefer your service, and they actually they win time as well. So they end up always coming back and booking more. And I guess one key factor is connecting you and your local hotels, restaurants, and cafes, and building on those relationships. And in the next slide, I'll show you kind of a little bit about how we see the software working with each other, and then how the typical venues would have bookings at certain times of the day. So if we take a hotel here, the taxi butler would be at the front desk, and the receptionist would press the button. A message would go out to the DDS wireless dispatch. It would automatically be put through to your drivers, to the local cars, to the closest car, and whoever would then pick up the request would answer with "I'll pick up that customer." A message would go back through the DDS dispatching system to the taxi butler, and on the front screen it would have the driver's name, a reference number, and registration plate of the car, and also an estimated time of arrival, which is updated if the car or the vehicle is then held back for any reason. With the Guest QR, once they've gone through the booking process, there's also a passenger app that allows you to follow the vehicle, and again, estimated time of arrivals are always updated as the car gets closer. So I've mentioned hotels, restaurants, and bars. We do also see other venues doing very well with taxi butlers: casinos, hospitals, definitely with our Pro, which I'm about to introduce in a second, offices for pre-bookings and account work, but also maybe again in the later periods of the day in nightclubs. And you see here with this graph, we show the trend of when bookings actually come in. So although hotels would be generally check in and check out, restaurants pick up later in the evening. So spreading the taxi butlers through all these different local booking venues, then you're capturing all the bookings, and you have more opportunity to grow your business with taxi butlers. So I'm going to focus then on Guest QR and Taxi Butler Pro today. We do have the Taxi Butler 1, which is super simple. Press the button and a taxi would come. The Pro, you can add destination, passenger name, telephone number if you would wish. Also offers you the opportunity to choose which kind of vehicle you would like, whereas the 1 would only allow you to have 1 or 2 different vehicle types. And the Guest QR is pretty similar, but it's more expecting the guest to use their telephone or smart device to go onto a mobile booking page and actually book via their telephone then. So again, the Guest QR and the Taxi Butler Pro, I'll dive into them a little bit more. There are also payment options available coming up in the new year, which is really exciting. At this minute in time, we do give estimated price of trips, which can be activated or turned on and off in the back end. So in the portal, you have total control over what the guest would get to see. And again, 1 press and the taxi is basically being booked with the Pro. So Guest QR, similar to what Jason mentioned with DDS, or how the branding is possible, it's the same with Taxi Butler. You are able to brand your own colors into the booking platform. You are also able to have a similar kind of interface on the Pro. So colors will be able to come through, and your guests would be able to recognize if it's with your company, which obviously heightens your brand awareness in the local area. Guest QR, we see it as an add-on, an additional service to the Taxi Butlers. It's definitely a supportive service. Taxi Butler at the front desk are generally the kind of traditional way people are used to asking or requesting taxis. So we do see this as an additional service. It's launched last year. It's going very well, but definitely an extra to what the devices actually provide. Looking at the what you're able to do, so we can support with certain stickers and table tents. Some hotels have actually placed them in business cards, so when the guest would check in and receive their key card, it would be smartly stuck in between to be discreet, because we do see in some venues having a large poster or tabletops are not wished for. So being sometimes smart on how you can capture bookings have been fruitful in Europe, certainly, and also in the rooms, maybe on televisions, embedding them in the software has really been a success for some places. You can see on the right-hand side, once the customer has scanned the QR, it takes you into this booking environment where you can add telephone number, name, destination. You would then, if you would like to see the price estimation, you would have that on their telephone, and then with clicking on Book Taxi, the booking would go through the same as you would with a Pro or a One. And how does it all connect? So again, driven through technology, you as a customer, and I see some of our customers are already in this call today, you have your own portal, and in the portal you are able to activate all the devices. Super simple. You simply click on add venue, which is there to the top right hand side. You add the address and the latitude, longitude. I'm lost the word. Yes, excuse me. Digits are then pulled out, and you would then be asked to activate your Taxi Butler by adding in the code, which is on the front of this Taxi Butler one here. Once you've connected the code, then the Taxi Butler is ready to be placed, and quite simply you would hand it into the reception and they could start using it. Because we're already also integrated with DDS, all our products are ready to go, and when you wish to use them, they're there for you to have success with. In the portal, you're also able to pull out management performance data. You can see which venues are actually doing more successful bookings. If there's a venue that you think isn't doing as well as it should do, you can easily remove the venue from your portal, take out the Taxi Butler, place it elsewhere, and try there to see if it would be a better suit. You can also reach out to our team 24 hours a day. We are situated in Europe. However, we do have a team in North America. We have other teams situated through Europe and also in Australia and New Zealand. So we're always available to pick up your call if needed. And because we've such a good relationship with the DDS, we really would like to give everybody attending the webinar today the opportunity to really have some success with the Taxi Butler Pro and QR. So we've heavily discounted the Pro hardware price. So if you are interested in Taxi Butler Pro, or even if you're interested in the One, please let me know. We'll happily sign you up, send you some out. If you're an existing customer, again, for an additional order, we quite happily send you some new devices. it's been great experience. Thank you very much so far, Jason and everyone at DDS, and I look forward to listening to the remainder of the presentation and webinar today. And any questions, please reach out and happily answer any.
Excellent, Lawrence. Thank you. I think the key items we'll talk about here in a little bit too is those takeaways from analytics, the analysis of the data itself, and then how we are continuing to see this integration, this partnership integration work, because there is success, and we're definitely want to build upon that success. And thank you for the the offer that's put out there to our customers and your customers, so that's going to help us all to be able to book more trips. So the last thing I want to touch on today is just from what does this look like from a driver side? Just to give you again a feel, the differentiation for us that we continue to try and focus on is trying to make this drive, the whole experience from the passenger to the schedule, the dispatchers, to the drivers themselves, to this whole integration with our partners like Taxi Butler, to make sure that booking more and more trips to you the customers, but we try to make sure that also that our Driver Pro, the application that's on the devices themselves, Android based, or if you put it on a tablet or whatever format of viewing that you put on there, that you're able to see, both the zones, the pickups, drop-offs, there's costing piece, have the simple integrations of being able to say, how do I be able to manage this trip and find the right person, or find that passenger and continue to communicate with them. So with that, we're going to hopefully segue here into a quick little video. And Lawrence, tell me if you can hear the video. If not, I'll walk it through. Oops. Skip our ads though.
Perfect.
Wireless positioning units.
Larry has been driving for ABC Taxi for over 10 years.
Give me 1 second. Put us into a full screen mode.
He has seen it all.
Let's try one of these other ones there. See that, Lawrence? Still okay?
Yes.
Larry has been driving for
Can you
ABC
hear any
Taxi
audio?
for over 10 years. He has seen it
Yes.
all, scorching summers and freezing winters. Luckily, Larry has the M-Slate running Driver Pro. He's able to pair his smartphone with his taxi's mobile data terminal and activate
Again, the
his
driver
Driver
connecting
Assist
to
With
an app.
Driver Assist, Larry can take a moment and grab a warm
Step
coffee,
away,
knowing
go get a
he
coffee.
won't miss any job opportunities.
Still get
as
job
well.
offers connected to
He
him
also
on
does
the app.
not need to worry about temp time off. Adam, the dispatcher for
You have your
ABC Taxi,
dispatcher.
is able to notify Larry's vehicle of any incoming jobs.
Still has that
As the job
capability
is
of being able
passed to
to
Larry's
send out
M-Slate, the
notifications.
M-Slate mirrors the job to Larry's Driver Assist app. Larry conveniently accepts the job on his phone and returns to his car in the allotted time given by the dispatcher. Larry can then proceed to pick up his passenger and earn more money. The Driver Assist app, another advantage of Driver Pro.
And happy drivers, happy services.
I don't know if that film actually played, Jason. It kind of froze in.
Yeah, I see it all froze on some of those things, but we can send out those videos to you so you can see it as posted out there on YouTube. But it gives the idea of our customer, our drivers being able to do that full integration service, so that they're away from the cars or whatever it might be. Okay, finally in closing, so both us on the Taxi Butler side and the DDS side, we have our referenceable customers. We're able to share those with you, give you some case studies, some examples of how our clients are out there using the products and using the services, especially this integration that we have together, or this partnership, and then continue to use the technology and the services of the technology in order to go forward with booking more trips, bringing in more business, finding the alternative forms of that, the different forms of transportation, maybe expanding that into this paratransit or non-emergency type of world, and then trying to continue to find ways that you can benefit from technologies, riders, and this partnership. So with that, Lawrence, let's see if we have any questions. And then I have a question for you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
There's only
looks
one
like-
comment.
Yeah, it looks like our video get a good start, but we'll definitely go back in and share that so it shows you in the video side. But Lawrence, so you were talking about analytics and the data itself. You know, you showed that there was that trend. What are you seeing from trend wise? Some of the data that you're seeing, especially since you guys are pulling a lot of the actual booking modules from the services that you're providing. But what trends are you seeing in your market, in your world?
Yeah, so we definitely see a trend in the automation that more customers are looking to modernize their operation. I do hear birds in the background. I don't know if that's
Let me get away from birds.
it's very tranquil. And also, like I mentioned earlier, the difference or the new venues that have been popping up. I mean, we kind of really did see hotels and restaurants and cafes being a kind of focus with placing taxi butlers, but certainly doctor surgeries, offices and hotels, hospitals, sorry, picking up and to do with maybe obviously how things have kind of developed in the last couple of years, but certainly more kind of people looking to make the booking time and experience for the customer a lot shorter and smoother. We also find that repeat bookings with the experience from the venues, they actually go up quite considerably when placing a taxi butler, and that's probably due to the service that the fleets offer. At the same time, and it's not just our device, it's obviously the drivers coming on time, giving good service, being polite. It's a partnership together, and we are there to provide, you know, the kind of gateway to the passengers and the venue. But in the end, it's the fleet that's kind of that's always providing the key service of picking somebody up and bring them to the destination.
Perfect. Yeah, I see our friends here from TTA. You know, we're all partners within in that space. Many of you too, as out there in the same space. You know, when we saw the last TTAs, a lot of those they brought in some of those, you know, the transportation providers that are giving, you know, for non-emergency. You know, there was some buses there that were, you know, transporting you know, patients from, you know, let's say a dialysis type of pickup. So those kind of things are happening. And I know, Lawrence, in your world too, you see a lot of people I mean, a lot of our customers are using your service specifically at hospitals. So they, you know, somebody needs to get a ride, you know, they have to pick up a ride and do that transport, and they can just do a simple push of the button and have that ride, have that capabilities. And I know that's repeat business, you know, for a lot of those taxi customers. And I think tying in that idea of the non-emergency just with that last mile, first mile, last mile type of integration, which we all see in our world. It's just expanding fleets, and several of the clients that we work with are expanding their fleets into some other spaces. Maybe add a paratransit wheelchair pickup van that kind of expands that service to, you know, just being able to say, well, how can I, you know, from a company perspective or from a business perspective, how do I add other services that are maybe, you know, in my particular area, military? You know, there's military type of services that, hey, if I have an easy pickup that I can pick up a multiple pickups, drop-offs, and then have that whole service integrated. I have the app type of service. All that stuff is there. It gives you that capability. Good. Lawrence, any questions from your side?
Well, I suppose it's kind of the I mean, we've been going back and forward now for a couple of weeks together planning this. Is there where would you see the ideal DDS customer placing Taxi Butler in their services that they have this time? I mean, there's a few that they have through DDS that they're using. Is Taxi Butler going to be an integral part of their what's the word I'm looking for? offering, or is it something that would always be an extra nice to have? I mean, we obviously, from our point of view, it's a must and a necessity, but we always like to hear from our partners how they see the device working in there with the DDS system itself.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, Lawrence, I agree with the big things that we're seeing right now, especially the QR, that QR reader. That's that simplicity of just as more adoption within the application, that passenger app itself. There's our riders. We're seeing riders they're evolving too. I mean, they've come to this this simple, easy world of just one push button and I can get the service that I need, which segues perfectly into what Taxi Butler continues to offer too. The just being able to not only just have the machine, the pushing the button for the machines, but then having that QR integration. So a lot of I think those clients, those customers are out there that are looking for adding these type of services because they can see the value of being able to have that repeat business, because it's just ingrained. That if it's simple, if it's easy, if I don't have to continue just trying to look for a telephone number and then make that call and then try and wait for somebody to figure out, oh, are they going to pick me up? They told me 10 minutes, but I don't know where they're at, that kind of service. Whereas if they can transition into these technologies that you and I are sharing here, it's just going to make more sense for all of them, because that's the passenger. I think, tell me if you see anything different from a passenger experience. You're seeing it from a broad range of worlds in just the European transportation, but also here in North America transportation with the integrations that you have too.
Yeah, well, we definitely see the effect that automating has on businesses. Speeds, quality goes up, acquisition, the opportunity to focus on other things in your business instead of being on the telephone or having more time being spent on other things has definitely been a key factor to Taxi Butler supporting more and more fleets across the world. I'd be interested to hear if anybody has any questions. I mean, that's kind of also a key takeaway. Otherwise, maybe we've explained it too well.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Q&A section. I don't see any questions in there. But I'm going to make a plug to say, if there are questions, Lawrence and I are both available for answering any things. Our teams, we have our teams working on these services. Finally, from my side, other than thanking Lawrence and Taxi Butler for this great partnership that we have, and then all those you that have taken the opportunity to attend. But just putting it out there that you can see the evolution that we're going through ourselves, and the same with Taxi Butler. Just different things, different ideas that we're taking back from the market, and saying we can improve here, we can improve there, or these are some things that we're looking at as far as trends and options. So let's start to build our technologies around that. Simply just our cloud-based service that's been rolled out within AWS, which gives the users that capability of being able to have redundancy anywhere that they are located at. So that's a key things. And then just the simplicity of being able to access that data, so I can perform analytics. So I can say, okay, this is Lawrence, you showed that great graph of saying these are the trends of when people are picking up services, and so how can I optimize putting a Taxi Butler type of service into play into whatever venues that might make more sense, because the tie-in between the two analytics. So those are evolutions that we're all doing, that we're all working on, and making sure that we have that technology to all of our customers.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Well, with that, we will end there. Stop our recording. Appreciate again everybody's time. We'll send out all the attendees and those that registered to be able to make sure you can contact us with all of our contact details, and look forward to another session next time, so we can continue on this conversation on this path to bring you the services you want, and your clients and riders the data or the simplicity of scheduling and dispatching that information. So again, until next time, Lawrence, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. Thank you, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye bye.